This is What's Up with Giancarlo, and I'm going over the Module 2 quiz review. Now let's get started. So number 1 is obvious. All you're going to do is click I recognize that a test invalidation will result in a 0 for this assessment. Alright? So boom, click that and you're done. Question 2. Which inequality does not have the same solutions as n plus 16 is less than or equal to 30? So let's work this out. We have to get the variable by itself. So at that point, I'm going to subtract 16. Since it's adding, I have to do the opposite. I'm going to subtract 16 by both sides. Both sides by 16. I'm going to get n is less than or equal to 14. So you have to test out all the multiple choices. There's one choice that's n is greater, less than or equal to 14, which is obviously the same. It's equal to it. There's another one where you're adding 4 to 10 to get 14 is greater than or equal to n. Let's try this one. I get n minus 12 is less than or equal to 14. I need n by itself, so I'm going to add 12 to both sides. And I get n is less than or equal to 26. That is my answer because that is not the same as this. Alright? These are not the same. They are not equal. This would be my answer for number 2. Moving on. Which is the solution to the inequality? Negative 48 is greater than negative 3x minus 3. So I need the variable by itself. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides. That is the first step. This is a 2-step inequality. So I'm adding a positive to a negative. So the number is going to get smaller. So it goes to negative 45 is greater than negative 3x. Okay? So now there's multiplication in the problem. I'm going to have to divide by negative 3, both sides. So when you multiply or divide by a negative, this inequality sign is going to flip. And then we're going to get x on this side. And then 45 divided by 3 with 2 negatives, it's going to be a positive, is 15. So you can write it like this, or x is greater than, so I need to, x is greater than 15. That would be my answer for number 3. Moving on. Number 4. Which is the solution to the inequality money sign minus 14? Looks like we're skipping 4, class, because I'm not seeing the correct question on my iPad. Probably because it's being weird. So I'll answer that in class if you ask about it. Number 5. Ava has to attend at least 35 physics classes every semester to earn attendance points. If she can attend 5 classes every week, write an inequality that determines the minimum number of weeks Ava should attend physics classes. So we obviously know it's 35, and they used P for physics classes. So she has to attend a certain amount of times she needs 5 classes a certain amount of times a week. Alright? and she has to do it at least 35. At least. So it can equal 35, or it could be more than 35. But you cannot have less than 35. Therefore, this is your answer. 5p, 5 multiplied by p, is greater than or equal to 35. Okay, class, so I'm just realizing that these might not be in the same order that you guys got them. The questions might have been moved around. So you're going to have to pay attention to what you had, or just in general the questions that I'm going over. Okay? So moving on to number 6 for what I'm looking at. Which way does the arrow go? And then we've got 14 is less than x. So personally, it's easier to tell which way the arrow goes if you have x, if you have the variable going first. So we just have to make sure that we still have it written correctly. So x is greater than 14. So we have 14. It's an open circle because it's not equal to. So, and x is greater, so it's going to the right. As you can see, the arrow is pointing that way from the inequality sign, so it is going to the right. Okay? You have to make sure the variable is on the left side if you're going to go by the pointed arrow for the inequality sign. Or you can just make your little graph and see that x is greater than it, so it's going to the right, okay? Moving on, number 7. Which way does the arrow go? And it gives us negative 2x plus 13 is greater than 15. So I need to get the variable by itself. We're going to work the inequality all the way down so we get just the variable by itself in the inequality, and then we will be able to tell which way it's going. So I'm going to subtract the 13 from both sides. I get negative 2x is greater than 2. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. And since I'm dividing by a negative, it's going to flip. It's going to be negative 1. So I'm going to draw my little graph. I'm at negative 1. It is a less than, no equal to, so it's an open circle. X is less than it, so it's going to the left. Less left. All right? Also, the arrow is pointing that way. The inequality sign is pointing to the left, so you're going to the left. Moving on. Number 8. Open or closed dot. Open or closed dot. 14 minus 3x is greater than or equal to 30. Class, all you're looking at is the sign for this kind of question, okay? So we know it's a closed dot because it's equal to, all right? Let's remember, closed dot equals greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. Open dot equals greater than or less than. Okay? So class, I had a student try to tell me that this question was wrong because they didn't read the directions. They were trying to solve it and they're like, oh, Mr. Giancarlo, I solved it and I got the answer, but it gave me the wrong answer. No, because they asked open or closed. Please, let this be a lesson to everybody. Make sure you read the directions for everything, okay? Make sure you read the directions. Moving on to number 9. Which is the solution to the inequality? The inequality is 42 is greater than 6d. So This is a one-step inequality. I'm just dividing both sides by 6 because I need to get the variable by itself. Okay? 42 divided by 6 is 7. I could write it D is less than 7. 7 is greater than D, or D is less than 7. All right? Moving on. Numero 10. Robin can buy up to 13 DVDs with the money she has. If she buys 8 DVDs today, write an inequality that determines how many more she can buy. So, Robin can buy 13 DVDs. Okay? 13 DVDs. So, I've got I'm just going to use X. And then she buys 8 DVDs. So she's adding 8. And then it's she cannot buy more than 13. So she can buy up to 13. So X plus 8 is less than or equal to 13. I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. And I'm going to wind up with X is less than or equal to 5. That is my answer. So I just said you can't buy more than 13. You just got 8 today. How many can you go and get tomorrow if you can't get more than 13? The most you can get is 5. You obviously, the 21 shouldn't be there. It's X is less than or equal to 5. All right? That's your answer. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's go. Moving on. 11. Solve 12 plus Y is less than or equal to 32. So for all my answers, I'm seeing like I believe it's the lira money sign. I'm not sure. But everybody knows I need to get the variable by itself. I'm going to get rid of this constant. I'm going to subtract both sides by 12. So I get Y is less than or equal to 32 minus 12. You get a 0 right there. 3 minus 1 is 2. So I'm going to get Y is less than or equal to 20. So looking at it, I can pick Y and 20 because I know those are the two that are in the answer. So 16, 18, and 22 wouldn't make sense. All right. Moving on. Number 12. Which inequality does not have the same solution as negative 3/4 x is greater than 15? So, class, I've got negative 3/4 x greater than 15. So, I would have to divide, but how do we divide fractions? We keep change flip, okay? We multiply by the reciprocal. So, both sides multiplied by negative 4/3. All right? So the fractions cancel out, so I get x is greater than, and then I'm going to cross this out because I'm going to cross simplify, make it a 5. This is going to turn into a 1. Oh, I made a mistake. I'm multiplying by a negative. Therefore, this is going to flip. So I get 5 times 4 times 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. So I've got 40 is less than negative 2x. I'm going to divide these by negative 2. I get negative 20 is greater than x. That is the same. So that is not my answer. I've got x plus 10 is less than negative 10. I'm I'm going to subtract 10 from this side. Subtract 10. And I get x is less than negative 20. So that's not my answer because it's asking for not. So I've got negative 3y is greater than 18. I don't know why I switched the variable. That's weird. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 3. And that is, this is going to flip. Y is less than negative 6. But also, I made a mistake, so there are two answers. Negative 2x is less than 10. You would divide both sides by negative 2. And you would get x is greater than negative 5. So I made a mistake here. I think I meant to make this negative 10 and make this x over 2. Then it would have been. But either of these answers, and you are correct technically, okay? Moving on to number 13. Which is the solution to the inequality? I've got negative x over 12 is greater than 2. So, to get rid of the bottom, we have to multiply. This is division, we have to multiply. We're going to multiply both sides by negative 12. That's going to give me x. This is going to flip. 2 times negative 12. 2 times negative 12 is negative 24. That is your answer. Bada bing, bada boom, moving on. Number 14. Jenna can jump no more than 12 feet. Jenna can jump no more than 12 feet. So, can Jenna jump 12 feet? Yeah, but she can't jump more than that. So we're going to go to J is less than or equal to 12. That's my answer. Jenna can jump no more than 12 feet. Okay, moving on. Which is the best solution to the inequality? Which is the solution to the inequality? B minus 8 is less than 13. Okay, this one's super easy. I'm just adding 8 to both sides. And I get B is less than 21. Boom. Bada bing, bada boom. Donezo. Number 16, bring it on. The light bulb must be at least 80 watts. So, light bulb is L. L for light bulb. And that is L in cursive. Must be at least 80 watts. At least. So that means it's going to be greater. The very least it can be is 80. Okay? There's your answer. Bada bing, bada boom. Donezo. 17. Let's go. 4A is less than negative 28. So class, this was a tricky one for some students. I saw them make the mistake in class. We are dividing by 4. Both sides. We're dividing by 4. They saw the negative sign and just thought, since, oh, there's division and there's a negative sign, we're flipping the inequality sign. We are not flipping the inequality sign on this because what I'm dividing both sides by is not negative. The number that you are multiplying or dividing both sides by has to be negative to flip it around. So I just get A is less than negative 7. Well, there it is. Moving on. 18. Solve. 11 plus x over 3 is less than 14. So I need that variable all by itself. I'm going to get rid of the constant first by subtracting 11 from both sides. So I get x over 3 is less than 3. Now it's division, so I have to multiply both sides by 3. So I get, those cancel out, so I get x is less than 9. There's the answer, 19. Write an inequality for each sentence. This is the last problem. The scale's maximum load is 200. Maximum load, so we use M. And can it be 200? Yes, it can. Can it be greater? No. So it has to be less than or equal to 200. And that is your answer. Those are all the problems to the Module 2 Quiz Review Main 1. Worked out for you. Good luck on the quiz. And everybody remember, if you're watching this, you're a part of the class.